they used to speak about so many of their stories from Hum Tum and from Tara Rampam, and Siddharth has to just sit and listen.
Oh,
so it's actually quite fun. I really think that Kiara Advani's journey is very inspiring.
Yeah.
Time goes. Actually, this is a better idea. 44, 36, 44, 80.
So my guest on the show today is someone who's super passionate and full of life. Just like her real name, she's as bubbly and fun in real life too. Started as an assistant director to now an actress. Can you guess who she is? So you guys guessed it right. I am with Sharvari Wagh today. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome
Hi.
to Pinkvilla.
Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been great. How have you been?
I have also been really good.
Yeah.
Sharvari, I want to start off by asking you, how did the idea of acting actually come up, and what was the first step that you took to pursue what you actually are doing today?
So I think ever since I was a kid, I used to, watch films and then go back home. And I remember I had a drawer in which I had all of my mom's dupattas. So I would let her give away the kurta and the salwar, but I would keep the dupattas. And I was really young and I used to make clothes out of them for myself, and I used to dance in front of the mirror. So I always had this dream of wanting to be in the films, but I didn't think that it would be possible, growing up, because it's a world so away from my world, back in the day, that I didn't think that it was at my reach. So then when I was in college, I actually participated in this Times of India event called Fresh Face, and I think I was 16 back then, and it was a college event, so you had like talent round. So obviously I danced, and then it turned out to be like a Miss India level Fresh Face college hunt, and I won that, and my photos started coming in the newspaper, and I started getting calls for like auditions. And that's when I decided, and I was doing science that time, I wanted to pursue engineering.
So you wanted to be an engineer always?
I wanted to become a civil engineer only because my father's a builder, my mother's an architect, my sister's an architect. So it's a world that I knew,
right.
So I thought it would be an easy, transition into becoming a civil engineer for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to pursue.
Yeah.
And then I decided one day that, let's go to an audition and let's see what happens.
How did your parents kind of receive all this, because it's so different for them?
I think that I wouldn't be here unless my parents would have actually had a conversation with me, because they really saw that I was enjoying this whole process of, the Fresh Face competition and the auditions. And I don't think I had the guts to leave science, because I didn't know, like, if I leave science and what do I do, because I don't know this world. And my parents sat me down and they asked me, do you want to become an actor?
Oh, really?
And I had no words. Like, I think they were the ones who showed that confidence in me, and that's when I could say yes.
So it was like the other way around.
It really was the other way around. And in fact, they told me that if you want to become an actor, then you can't have 2 feet on 2 boats. You have to leave science, study arts, study what acting is, become an assistant director, do these things.
And out of curiosity, what kind of a student were you? Were you the nerdy science kid, or were you like taking
I was a 90% and above kid always, all through my life.
What do you think now when you reflect back at that journey and that entire episode that happened?
I mean, I think that for me, whenever I think about that episode, I know that a lot of people come out, wanting to prove people wrong because they made it. But for me, I need to prove my parents right.
Yeah.
Because I think that they saw something that I was scared to even say, and I just want to prove them right. That's my journey.
And like you said, you started becoming an assistant director first.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that when they want to get into acting. How does that experience help in any way? Like, how would you define it?
I think that's the best way of learning. For someone who's not from the film family and who's never been on a film set, it's a completely different world. And when I started with becoming the director's assistant on Pyar Ka Panchnama 2 with Love Ranjan sir, and I remember that the first few days I was only taking coffee. I was the Starbucks girl. Like, I had to take coffee from every single HOD on that set, and I did that for almost a month. And then they obviously gave me the responsibility of learning how to, you know, do the clap and what's lighting, and I had no idea. So I really started learning from the scratch. So how it helped me was that the first time I went on set as an actor, I wasn't intimidated by what was happening around me.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the most important thing, because as an actor you just have to connect with your dialogues and with your emotion. But the most important thing is to kind of know what the environment is, because so much is happening around you.
Right. So Sharvari, like you said, you've assisted on films. You've done a Pyar Ka Panchnama too with Love Ranjan, and then you've done a Bajirao Mastani with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and these are two completely different genres.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, did you kind of have a preference, like maybe in the future these are the kind of films I want to go ahead with?
No, you know, I think as an actor, the most exciting part is to be able to live different lives and to be able to, you know, be a part of different kind of cinema, different genres, different style of direction. So I think, I hope that I never narrow it down, because I believe that it'll only be more fun and more rewarding to do different things in life.
That's true. But there's no preference that you've made as such. कि यही करना है, at least for starters or something. No plan.
I think the only preference would be to have a really strong script and something where I can showcase my performance, and I think that will be my topmost priority.
You know, you started your acting journey with a special on Amazon, to now being a Yash Raj talent. Is it very overwhelming? Like, is it too good to be true? Because the start is like kick-ass, if I can say that.
That's good. No, you know, I truly believe that somewhere I manifested a lot of this, because I remember that I used to go to this acting class called Actor Prepares, which is in at SV Road, and I remember that Shanu Sharma's casting office was on the 4th floor, and and Anupam Kher's acting class was on the 3rd floor. And I remember that everyone used to kind of go near Shanu's office and look at that office and be like, oh, one day I'll walk in and, you know, I'll have that. And I've had that moment, you know. Like, I've had that moment where I've seen Shanu's office and I've said, one day I'm going to go inside this, and one day I'm going to get a Yash Raj film, and it was stuck in my mind. And I promise you, I did not get a Yash Raj film for almost 5 years of auditioning at Yash Raj.
Yeah, I know.
I actually eventually got the film much later, so it was not like I manifested and I went in and I got my first audition. I didn't. I auditioned again and again and again, and then eventually it happened. And I remember auditioning for some scenes of Befikre, and then I auditioned for some scenes from Band Baja Barat. So there was like a mix of scenes that I did.
And what was your reaction when you realized that, okay, you're doing this?
No, I was really shocked, because I was at Shanu's house and she called Varun Sharma, our director, and she said that just come, the director wants to meet you. I had no idea which film, I had no clue. And then I walk in and they're like, so we're making Bunty or Bubbly 2. And my jaw dropped, you know. Literally my jaw dropped, and I was like, really? Firstly, as a fan, I was like, wow, y'all are making a part 2. And yeah, I mean, I think I was just shocked, to be honest.
In terms of social media, you know, like everyone's upping their game. There's something or the other happening. Do you feel like you really need to be out there, be on your toes?
I mean, I've always been active on social media, so I kind of don't feel that pressure, because I always used to post pictures, and I honestly, I do what I like, to be honest, not because of contemporaries, but I do think that a lot of work depends on social media today. So I think I would keep my, you know, like I would up my game, because I know that today films and brands and producers and directors, everyone's on social media. And that's kind of your way to put out your best work. You know, be it pictures, be it video, be it what your vibe is. And I think I would keep my game its best for work, but not because I'm comparing myself to my peers.
Going back in time, and if you can remember your days when you were shooting for Bunty and Bubbly, was it overwhelming or intimidating on set, because you're shooting with senior actors, plus it's a big banner?
I and Siddharth actually had prepped quite a lot for the film, and we were sitting on our scripts for a couple months before we went on set. And the first time we actually saw Rani ma'am and Sef, so we really had this like fanboy moment, because we were just like, wow, we get to shoot with them, you know, and they're real people and they're around us, and we had that moment. But I think the fact that Rani ma'am and Sef sir individually are so fun, that they never intimidated us. You know, they kind of, it became like we were a part of like a family and everyone was friends. And also their innate nature is to kind of do tang khichai and to, you know, like, they used to speak about so many of their stories from Hum Tum and from Tara Rampam, and Siddharth has to just sit and listen.
Oh,
so it's actually quite fun.
If I may say, like, if there is any actress's journey that you have witnessed and seen and, you know, just enjoyed her journey throughout and seen that she started from here and now she's here.
Yeah.
Whose journey do you actually look up to?
You know, I would take a new name only because you said that someone's journey that you've seen from the beginning, and I wouldn't take like Rani ma'am or Madhuri Dixit's name because I've not seen their journey. I really think that Kiara Advani's journey is very inspiring because I think she was a part of films that for a very long time people did not even know about.
That's
you know,
true.
and today she is one of the topmost actors, and I think that the determination I'm sure that she had to keep going and to making herself better and performing better, I think that is something inspiring.
No, I completely agree with you because it's not easy.
It's not easy.
You need a lot of patience to sort of get the fruits that you think you deserve.
You know, there's always a way people say that these are the right films to do to success. You know, and I think that she kind of broke that. Because I think I don't like, she's done multiple films that I don't think did as well as the films are doing today. You know, so I don't think that those films were considered the right films.
Right.
You know, but to go through that journey is very, very inspiring because you don't know what right and wrong is.
I think she went with the flow.
Yeah. Whatever she did is working for her.
Totally. So, how do you think life has changed after being a public figure, if I put it that way?
I think that, not really, to be honest, apart from the fact that sometimes I get recognized at some places, and that's also a little shocking for me as well because I'm not used to that kind of, going to a mall and then someone's coming up to me. But other than that, not really.
Do you think sometimes the personal life news can also take over what happens in your work? Like, do you feel that? How do you strike a balance to make sure that personal is personal and work is work?
I don't think that my personal life really makes a lot of news, only because I don't come from a family that's been spoken about, and I have friends who are from my school, you know, so I feel like my personal life really is not as much in the public eye, and so it really doesn't weigh in on my professional life, you know.
Where do you strive to be in the coming few years? What are the kind of projects you're working on? What are the kind of work that you're doing on yourself to, you know, better yourself? Like, where are you headed?
If I had to say in the coming few years, I hope and I pray that I'm a part of films that entertain, that make a difference, and I hope that with every film I can better my craft, and I think for that, whenever I have free time at hand, I'm genuinely only trying to learn more. I'm doing dance classes, I'm doing diction classes. Whenever I have free time, I'm only trying to better myself because, like I said, when I was 16 years old, I started my journey and I actually got my first film, or let's say even Forgotten Army, I got after 5 years, you know. So I've kind of seen, and I got my film almost after 6 years.
Right.
So I've seen that journey of 5 to 6 years of not getting the kind of work that I wanted. So, you know, today I want to learn as much as I can. So going forward, I'm not in a position where someone says that, oh, she doesn't know this. You know, like I want to be fully equipped to be able to get into a new project, and I want to be able to learn as much as I can in my free time. So one thing I am manifesting is a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film, and I think that he is by far my favorite filmmaker since the beginning, you know, and I, fingers crossed, I really do hope that I get to work with Sir someday.
Which is your favorite film of his?
There are so many. But, you know, I personally have a soft corner for Bajirao also because I saw it happen in front of me. But like, Black was a stunning film. Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam was a great film. So I think there are so many. But yeah, for me, it would be Bajirao only because I'm biased towards it and my name comes in the end, so Bajirao.
Now your name comes in the start.
Now,
that's a nice line from end to start. We
Yes.
have something super fun planned for you. So So here we are at a laser wash. Sharvari, are you ready?
Already put your hands with the laser.
There are times where we'll have to work in coordination. Are you ready to work and help each other?
I'm very competitive, so I don't know if I'll help
Yeah,
you.
even I don't know whether we're going to do this, but let's get started.
Should we?
I'm excited.
1, 2, 3, go.
I'm getting all house.
Oh, our time started.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, so you take that.
Oh,
No.
oh shit. Okay, so every time we touch the laser,
Time goes.
Eee.
Actually, this is a better idea.
Oh,
Aaina.
sorry, that was me. Oh no.
Can I put my hand through this?
Level complete.
Oh no, this is tough. Wait.
Okay. Oh yeah, I need to. Oh, there's one more.
Okay.
Okay. Then it would be. ये कैसे समझेगा? आई मिल गया.
This is not the one.
Okay, then we'll have to exchange.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Are you enjoying it in heels, Aaina?
Yeah.
Huh?
Clearly.
Yeah? Okay,
Oh,
watch out.
God. Okay.
I think you should just like go under.
Well, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. I really hope we did.
Yeah, we didn't.
Well done, well done.
So
Crew. KR.
Crew.
Here, 36. You put it.
Okay, 36. I have to put it together. 30. Crew.
KRU.
Crew.
RU.
44.
44.
36.
44.
HG.
HG.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh my God.
So-
And go. So 36.
44. 80.
80.
36, 44, 80.
36,
Here.
44,
94.
80,
94.
36.
6.
Okay.
36.
40.
40.
नहीं
30.
36. एक second.
Oh God.
One
Okay.
second.
36. 44. 36, 44.
80.
Very-
80.
36. You tell me from there.
Huh.
36, 44. No, it's 44. How do we go back? Okay.
Huh.
36, 44, 80, 96.
96.
Correct?
Yeah.
Listen. It was the right code. It was the right code. 94, not 96.
एक और chance दे दो.
We lost together today. Basically, Aaina has been losing, and because of Aina's losing streak, I have lost today.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. We both have lost. Please camera बंद कर दो.
Please, we can't
Please,
shoot
thank
this
you.
anymore.
हम यहाँ पे चले जाते हैं.
हम अपना नहीं दिखा सकते.
Hi guys, this is Sharvari, and if you like this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to Pinkvilla.